I'm on a journey to make Fulham Europe's best club, and we are now entering Season 3. Season 3 begins. Europa League football coming to Craven Cottage, and our goal in the Premier League, qualify for the Champions League at the end of this season. 6th place in the Premier League last season. Let's see what we can do here at the Cottage. A little update as to what our side is looking like right now as we start season number 3. Our attack, absolutely unbelievable. Started to find our footing massively in the second half of last year. Defense so solid, but I think the defense does need some work. But the thing that I'm really hyped about is how our bench is coming along, how our reserves are coming along. So many players coming back from their loan spells now. Of course, Jimenez did retire at the end of the last season, so Rafael Nel is now our backup striker to Rodrigo Muniz. And the sad news, expected, but still sad, Tom Cairney, Captain Cairney, King Cairney is retiring at the end of the season. So I want to send him out, a great of Fulham, one of the best in the modern era. I want to send him out with some sort of silverware. We've got a half decent budget here though. I kind of expected for it to be a little more, maybe an extra 10 or 15 million pounds more. 56 million pounds into the transfer budget. And to start off the year, I want us trying to upgrade the right back position. Stanisic just hasn't been doing it for me. He's been the weakest link on numerous occasions, and I want somebody that can compete as an attacking wing back a little more. So I've shortlisted 2 players now. I've got Vanderson from Monaco, but honestly, the one that I think I'm going to go in for, Reece James. Former Chelsea man, this team does have a little bit of history of giving players a second chance, and whilst he's doing well here at Brighton, he doesn't have European football at the Amex. And we can get him for a pretty respectable price here, 84 overall. Let's go see if we can bring him across to Fulham. This would be a brilliant way to kick off season number 3. Getting our equal highest rated player, I believe. Leno's 83 at the moment. Ravella's 84. Reece James, Brighton, they want 42.5. I'm going to bump it down. 39.5 isn't too bad of a price to pay, meeting them somewhat in the middle. And Brighton are going to accept that price. Let's go. We're going to put the contract forward to him and see what he says. In regards to the transfer list though, these are the players we've got on the transfer list. Joshua King, I don't want to sell him. He's requested the transfer himself, but I don't think I'll be letting that happen. I'd be open to a loan move. I have transfer listed Harrison Reed though, Kenny Tete, Steven Bender, Josip Stanisic, Dibbly Diaz. From a loan perspective, I've thrown Ollie Sanderson up there. Sessegnon is on there, but I don't want to loan him out. Luke Harris, I do want to loan him out. And Vuskovic, want to get some game time for the young Croatian. Some transfer offers early on here in the window. Coventry come in for Steven Bender, which I am okay with. I'm going to accept that one. Liverpool, just like they did at the back end of last year, coming in for a loan offer for Ryan Sessegnon. Not a chance are we letting that happen. I enjoy having him as a backup. But Reece James is going to accept our contract here at Fulham. This is a huge start to season number 3. Getting ready for life in the Europa League. Reece James, 84 rated. Hopefully is going to be the man that can be here for the next half a decade as our starting right back. Fulham and Chelsea do have a pretty rich history of swapping players between, but we do have the benefit of him having played at Brighton. Every time when I played Brighton at the back end last year, he was one of their best players. And I cannot wait to get Reece James some European football here. We're paid a pretty penny, but I think it's worth it. Just shy of 40 mil. Another offer coming in here for Steven Bender. It is from the Belgian side, Ghent. I'm going to accept that one. Still negotiating though with Coventry. Interested to see if that one pans out. And it is Millwall coming in for Ollie Sanderson. I would be totally fine sending him there. Honestly, I probably would look to sell him permanently next year, but let's see if we can get him a loan move to Millwall. See if we can salvage something. Again, I accepted so many offers for Matt Dibbly Diaz last year. I'm not expecting anything to go through here, but I'm just going to keep accepting them and see how we go. Millwall and now Norwich coming in for Ollie Sanderson. I don't know if he'll get that much game time at Norwich, but we'll see anyways. When it comes to Rodrigo Muniz though, I am honestly still up in the air whether I want to get him as our striker or keep him as our starting striker this year. He was he was incredible at times last year and then not reliable at others. He got himself 21 goals in all competitions. I think it's going to depend on who we're able to sell, what our budget's looking like, and honestly, how the first few games of the Premier League season go. I don't want to sell Joshua King. I don't want to sell him to the Saudi League either. Like I said, if somebody comes in and wants to loan him, I'd be down for that, but I'm rejecting permanent ones. I am cool with Luka Vuskovic though. Let's see if we can get the 6'4" Croatian defender a loan move to Lecce. Let's go a 2-year loan. 1 year accepted here from Millwall. And we get I guess they are trying to look for a new right back. Kenny Tete to Brighton. Let's go see if we can get it up to 8.4. Get an extra 700k. We've already got a good rapport with Brighton via the Reece James transfer. Let's see if we can recoup some of our money we spent on Reece James, coming straight from our account back to their, coming from their bank account straight back to ours. 8.4. Brighton are cool with that. I will say as well, Harrison Reed in real life is one of my favorite Fulham players. I think he is criminally underrated, but when it comes to this career mode, he just doesn't fit the play style that I've been playing with. He gets no game time, so we may as well get £6 or £7 million for him if we can. Loan move from Marseille for Luke Harris. I'm actually going to reject this one because I don't know if he would get starting game time at Marseille. 1 year accepted for Ollie Sanderson, and we get an offer for Harrison Reed. That's less than I expected. Let's go see if we can get 5 nils from Genoa. Just want to try getting as much money as possible in here. You get an extra 500k to every deal. That adds up to a couple mil over the term of the season, over the course of the season. 5 mil, they still say 5.5. How about 4.85? To be fair, if they came back and said 5 again, I would just probably accept that. 4.6, all right, that's fine, whatever. We got ourselves an extra 50k just by negotiating. But just like that, Kenny Tete is no longer a Fulham player. We've already got his succession plan in. I mean, Stanisic is still technically our backup, but we have that Brazilian Lima guy, I believe his name is, from Wolves. So Kenny Tete sold to Brighton for 8.5 mil. Wishing him the best. It's probably the best for all parties. Getting another offer in here for Harrison Reed, though. It's Luton Town. This seems like a more realistic one than Genoa. It's also more money, so I'm going to accept that. 2-year loan accepted for Luka Vuskovic. And I'm not going to look to sell Pedro Lima or even loan him out. I'm going to reject that. No surprise, though. Dibley Diaz and Bender's deals have both broken down. Fenerbahce coming in for Luke Harris. What is that? Let's go see what they're looking like. Fenerbahce is one of those weird ones where you don't really know what they're going to be looking at, like if their squad's going to be insane or not. I mean, they got insane strikers. Do they have, what's their midfielders looking like? Attacking midfielders? Oh no, they got Szymanski in there. Not a chance in the world. It would have been nice having him play under Jose Mourinho, but nah, not a chance. Another one for King, rejecting that. Another one for Lima, rejecting that. And Harris, he's not going to get, he's getting these mid-tier teams that are known for developing great players, but I just don't think he's going to get game time at. And there it is, Harrison Reed. He is out of here. I'm hoping he goes to Luton Town just because of a little bit of more money, but at least if he goes to Genoa, we won't have to worry about playing him. Harrison Reed. Oh, Ollie Sanderson actually got a loan through. Okay. But Harrison Reed is heading to Luton Town for 4.75 mil. We get one in here for Josip Stanisic from Aston Villa. 18 million pounds. I want to go get near that 22 marker. Trying to get as much of our business done early in the window as possible. Get as much money stacked up so we have the ability to go in for another superstar signing. Already getting Reece James into the side. Can we steal Stanisic and get something towards another one? Aston Villa will accept 22.5 million pounds. We've got Leicester City coming in here for Iran Kunda, but with the Europa League coming up and with my ambitions of going on some deeper cup runs, I think we're going to need him as a backup this year. He was also incredible when I used him off the bench a few times, so I'm excited to get him more starting game time this year. Same thing with Rome Jadon Owusu. I don't want to sell him. I want to get him in the mix a lot more in the cups and getting more development this year. Starting to think with the Leno succession plan, I want Aduro to get more game time and to get growth. Luka Vuskovic, 2 years on loan for the Croatian defender. Why is Brighton coming in here for him? Brighton just signed Kenny Tete. I'm sure Kenny Tete would love it if I sold him and then immediately sold the man that pushed him out of starting football last season to them. But I'm happy with him going to Villa. I'm going to reject that. All right, we've got a lot of money in our back pocket now. Josip Stanisic was half decent for us, but I just didn't like, especially the second half of last season, I realized how much we were missing out on from an attacking sense. Seeing how good Anthony Robinson was at left back, Stanisic just didn't bring that same impact. Let up some horrible defensive plays, and that's why we've decided to sell him to Aston Villa. Again, just accepting them from Dibley Diaz, rejecting them for Pedro Lima. And I was going to say rejecting them for Josh King, but then my favorite MLS side for Yuya Kubo. Oh my God, man. Look, if you didn't know, I live in Cincinnati. I'm an FC Cincinnati fan. Yuya Kubo is a hero. I'd almost feel bad taking Yuya Kubo off of FCC's hands. This one was tempting, but I still want to keep Josh King around. Rejecting. Alex Borto to Motherwell. Accepted. Again, I don't expect him to go. I think his contract expires at the end of this year, so I'm kind of excited to get him off our books. Girona, I would consider, though, for Luke Harris. Let's delegate that and potentially send him to Spain for the year. Brighton are coming in and getting so busy with us this window. Not a chance in the world I am selling Mudryk, though. He was so... I mean, he got the Premier League Player of the Month last year. I'm so keen to see what having him and Anthony in the squad can do together for a full Premier League season. Girona come back, though, and we will accept 1 year for Luke Harris. And again, reject for Josh King. I just want to get him off the damn transfer list. I've also decided I'm going to throw Harry Wilson on the transfer list. I do want to use Stroikens as more of a backup option this year. He's younger, he's higher overall. We've had him on loan for 1.5 years, so it's time to get him some senior team football at Fulham. So I'm going to put Harry Wilson on the transfer list. Charlton Athletic coming in for Dibley Diaz, once again accepted. I know the reason he's not going is because of his wages, but it's been impossible trying to renegotiate with him. Chelsea want Ryan Sessegnon. It's only the big clubs coming in for him as well, which is hilarious. And Bournemouth, they've been relegated this year. They want Mudryk. They are not getting that. In fact, I need to go check what the Bournemouth side's looking like, because I know they had some pretty big players on their list. Bournemouth, they've got Alex Paulson, the Australian goalkeeper. Sorry, New Zealand goalkeeper. God, that would have got me in some trouble. Kevin Danso, maybe we can get him on a cheap deal. Rafael Guerrero, Dean Huijsen. Oh, I might go in for Dean Huijsen, honestly. He wouldn't cost that much money, and he would be another great young player to get onto the books here. I'm going to bookmark that one, shortlist it and bookmark it. We've got a nice young Portuguese fella in here. Gonçalo Inácio plays for Bournemouth. All right, I'm shortlisting that one as well. It might be a little too expensive, though. Midfield, they got Tyler Adams, Robert Andrich in there, Clive. How did this team get relegated? Sinistera, Senanyo, Traore. They had Zaire Emery. I forgot about that. Oh my, how did they get relegated with him? I'm shortlisting that as well. And who they have up top? They have Evan Nilsson, of course. Oh my God. Like, any of these guys that I've shortlisted would be incredible additions. How did they get relegated with these many good players? I mean, I could afford Evan Nilsson if I sold Muniz. I could almost afford him right now, honestly. Zaire Emery is the most enticing one, but we don't need help at the midfield right now. Dean Huijsen almost makes sense because I want to get some young players into the squad, get some backups there, and we could get him incredibly cheap. And that allows Muniz to have some time to stay out the start of the season. Maybe we could always go in for Evan Nilsson after. I think I'm going to go in for Dean Huijsen here. The young Spanish defender would be an incredible addition for a cheap price as well. Let's see if we can get him for his market value of 5.5. They want 6.4, but it looks like we could get them over the line with 5.5 given the low tension, which they do. Bournemouth accept 5.5 for Dean Huijsen. Let's just get straight in and see if we can get him back to the Premier League, get him to Fulham. He's going to be a prospect, but if he might ask for rotation, he asks for sporadic, that's fine. Absolutely want him on a 5-year deal, which he accepts. No release clause, perfect. His current wage is 22.5. I'm going to bump it up to 30 here. I could probably give him a little more. I'm hoping this doesn't mean he walks out of the room. I don't want to overpay too much though. And he's happy with 30K. Lovely. I'm loving building up this young core. We're signing players that can come into our starting 11 and be superstars right now, and getting players like Dean Huijsen who could be the rotation plans, be the succession plans for players like Joachim Andersen. And to get him for just £5.5 million from relegated Bournemouth is an absolute steal. Somebody needs to investigate why it's only the big Premier League clubs coming. Although, to be fair, given how bad Manchester United were last year, this would probably be a starting 11 player for them. Atlanta United come in for Bordeaux, accepted. He did reject Motherwell. And Newcastle United for Sessegnon. I wish I could block him. I wish I could block offers. Luke Harris, we do get his loan move over the line, however. Heading on loan to Girona for the year. Oh my God, is that Dibley Diaz? I think we got one over the line for Dibley Diaz. I never thought I would see this day. Matt Dibley Diaz has been sold. We got it. I think I've legitimately, not even exaggerated, accepted 30 transfer offers for this guy over the past 3 seasons. And finally it goes through. He heads to Charlton Athletic. I'm in shock. Opportunity here for Stephen Bender to go play with Messi at Inter Miami. Chelsea coming in for Emile Smith-Rowe. He gets upgraded to an 82, which is nice. There is not a chance I'm selling Emile Smith-Rowe this year. In fact, I'm going to block that. But an attacking midfielder that I am okay selling, and an offer I'm probably going to accept here. Actually, let's go stick to my word. Let's go negotiate and try getting 7 mil. Selling Harry Wilson to Bologna would be, again, just like today, a good move for both parties. Can we get 7 mil from the Italian outfit? That extra 500k might come in handy. We will have 50 million pounds if we get this over the line. They say 6'5" again. Come on, mate. Didn't even want to counter. Just give us a 6'8". Come on, 6'8", 6'5". All right, whatever. We tried. We managed to get Dibley Diaz out. The bigger miracle would be if we could get Alex Borto out. Luis Diaz heading to Wolverhampton is a massive move. Wolves making big moves. And Stephen Bender's move to Inter Miami broke down again. I assume that's probably a wage reason. The Welsh wizard himself, Harry Wilson, is out. One of my favorite players again from the modern era, but it just isn't working in FC sense. And that's going to be an extra £6.5 million added to our transfer budget. NYCFC, the side that ironically FC Cincinnati are playing in the playoffs, are coming in for Josh King, rejected. I'm playing him in the preseason games, so hopefully that fixes up his morale. And maybe Alex Borto wants to go to Romania. But with about £50 million to spend, I would love to get your guys' input in the comment section down below. Who would you love to see me sign? What positions? Top of my head, I'm probably thinking it's going to be either striker or centre back. I might get another centre back to throw in the mix. Would love your guys' input. Please let me know. Alex Borto does not want to go to Romania. Stephen Bender rejected into Miami, but let's see if he wants to head to the other Florida MLS club. Head a little more central Florida and head to Orlando. Another Romanian club coming in for Borto, and Wolverhampton coming in for Rafael Nell, but I want to keep him again. Similar to Stroikens, I want to use him as a little bit of a rotational player here this season in the Europa League and all the cups. He spent the past year and a half out on loan, so we're going to reject this one. And I've been rejecting a million offers here for Pedro Lima. That's going to continue. Loan offer from Coventry for Martial Godot. I'm actually going to negotiate here. I didn't have him on the loan list initially, but I'm open to him going out on loan. It will probably be similar to before where, like Sanderson, I'll probably loan him out and then sell him on next year if he doesn't come back insane. Coventry come back with a 1-year loan deal. I will accept that. But here we go, ladies and gentlemen. It is time. The opening day of the Premier League season. We face the champions, Arsenal. Let's not forget, we faced Arsenal in the last episode of last season, and they absolutely thumped us. Arsenal have been a challenge most times we've faced them in this career mode. This is going to be a real indication of how close we are to taking that next step. Have Arsenal signed anybody big in the off-season, though? I'm curious. Carl Hein in between the sticks was unexpected. Hakimi's in there. Yeah, Yanis Madsen, not too sure who that is. And I don't think they had Gonzalo Ramos last year. And of course, as you guys saw, we have our full-strength starting 11 on the park. I've really tweaked the tactics coming into this season. Reece James, very excited to see how he can go on his Fulham professional debut. Hakimi pushing up high there. Robinson doesn't close him down. And 8 minutes into the season, we've conceded an odd goal to Hakimi. We had him sorted there, man. We just sagged off a little bit. Robinson was unable to get in front of it. But that is a tight finish. Oh, no. I don't know who this Madsen guy is, but he's got a decent long shot on him. Feed it. Yes, come on, Reece James. I want to use him so well this year. Reece James going back to Rodrigo Muniz. Heavy-ass touch, though. Ah! They take the shot, forcing Leno into the save. We are getting nothing going on an offensive front, though. Feed it under. That's a great ball. Mudryk, I've just scheduled for him to get subbed off. Oh, and he can't score it. Oh, that would have been a great way to finish up his match. No, don't let Saka just run through us. Saka's going to smash that one bottom corner. That is the difference. Saka is an absolute freak of nature. I made a triple substitution or a double substitution, but it's probably not going to matter now. 10 minutes to go. Iran Kunda and Diarra on. Get in front of that Muniz. Against Christensen, he gets out-muscled, man, and that's going to be the final action of the opening day. That was not an impressive way to start the season. We lost to Arsenal 2-0, I believe it was, last season, and that stays the same. And look, we face Ipswich Town in 5 days. I think we desperately need to call it an episode here and make sure we come back next episode with a game plan so that we can guarantee points against them. And I'm ready to make a massive transfer next episode, but I will leave it until then. Lads, if you're pumped for Season 3 of the Fulham Career Mode, leave a like on the video, subscribe here if you are new to the channel, and check out the whole series here if you haven't already.